Behold, New York City, my favorite way to see the city, which is on the river. Here in the East River, we're seeing views of downtown. We see the Manhattan Bridge. Right behind the Manhattan Bridge is the Brooklyn Bridge. One World Trade Center there in the distance, standing tall, and right in front of it's about to be blockaded by the building that many New Yorkers unfortunately hate, which is I think Manhattan Square, I think is the address. I forgot the exact address, but that is a condominium building right by the Manhattan Bridge. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist, and right now we are on the New York City Ferry on the East River line, heading towards East 34th Street. And right there we have the evil Tower of Sauron. The Brooklyn Tower, which is this huge, beautiful neo-Art Deco skyscraper, the tallest building in the outer boroughs of New York City. This building was supposed to be as tall as the Empire State Building. It didn't quite follow through those plans, but still quite tall. Well, let's go upstairs. So here we are arriving at East Williamsburg. So welcome everyone, I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist, and right now we are taking the ferry, and yes, today is January 23rd, Tuesday, 2024, the new year is upon us. Let me know, how is your new year already here in across the world? And I'm happy to be here on the ferry. I love that it's now running consistently throughout the winter time. It used to be, when it really started more than 10 years ago, I think nearly 15 years ago, it was only a summer thing. And I'm glad in the years they made it more and more reliable throughout the year. So here we're arriving at South Williamsburg. Cole says, are we going to pass the Statue of Liberty? No, the Statue of Liberty would be the opposite way. And the route that we would see the Statue of Liberty on the New York City Ferry would be going southbound towards Brooklyn, to southern Brooklyn. So if we were going to go to Red Hook or Bay Ridge, we would see the Statue of Liberty. I think also if we were to go to Far Rockaway. The best way to see a Statue of Liberty, my recommendation is take the free Staten Island ferry from the Wall Street area all the way to St. George's ferry terminal in Staten Island.
South Williamsburg. This stop is South Williamsburg. Next stop will be North Williamsburg. This stop is South Williamsburg.
Wow, the city's looking gorgeous tonight. And it's crazy to see the views of downtown Brooklyn. Let's admire them. So right here, the downtown Brooklyn. Doesn't that look like the evil Tower of Sauron from Lord of the Rings? That huge middle one in black. All it needs is a gigantic all-seeing eye and some fiery pillars up on top, and then it will be set in that case. MB says, are we close to the Gowanus Canal? No, we are not. So Gowanus Canal would be around Brooklyn. So right now we are in the northern side of Brooklyn. This would be South Williamsburg. Don't be deterred by the name. It just means the south of the neighborhood of Williamsburg, but we are in the northern side of Brooklyn. And this is what we're facing right now is the Brooklyn Navy Yard. It used to be the largest Navy Yard in the entire United States, especially during World War I. For definitely World War II was among the largest ones in the U.S. as well. And around this bend, so we have downtown Brooklyn. And around downtown Brooklyn, you start going further down to southern Brooklyn, and that's where you start passing Gowanus Canal. And then if you go further down, you'll see Red Hook, and then all the way down to Bay Ridge. Joe says, don't go to Staten Island. Why is that, Joe? And Joe, nice to see you here. Hello, Susie. Hello, Cliff. So right here we have new condominiums popping up in South Williamsburg. This traditionally was the Hasidic neighborhood of Williamsburg. I say traditionally because that is changing quickly. I think it is gentrifying despite the Hasidic community owning many of its buildings. I'm very curious what is the state of South Williamsburg today, but it looks like it's already changing with these huge condominiums popping up in the waterfront. Now we're turning. So the East River costs $4 right now as of January 23rd, 2024. You can transfer. There's various routes. So if you want to get to, say, East 90th, or you're going southbound and want to get to yourself to Bay Ridge, yeah, you can take, potentially only take 2 ferries maximum to get where you need to go. Timing seems to be working out. I looked at the timetable just before taking this ferry, and I was quite surprised that there were multiple transfer options which do align. And here right now we're passing through North Williamsburg, and we're seeing the Williamsburg Bridge with the roaring J train passing through. Hey, Kay, I should have been in New York this week. Oh, Kay, I do feel better. I'm sad to hear that you had to cancel your New York trip. That does really suck. I do hope you get to reschedule. New York City in January is nice and quiet. I really do enjoy it. Hello, Doreen. Doreen says perfect. Yeah, indeed, Doreen. It's very perfect. LAB says, I'm curious about Williamsburg. Oh, I'm so glad you are. Taking a ferry is more relaxing because of less honking from cars, more honking from birds. Indeed, Cole. Taking a ferry is a pleasure. It's nice and quiet. Ooh, here we have the massive bridge. Whoa. That's crazy. Whew. It's cold. Now I'm feeling the wind hit my face. Oh my. So here we're having the Domino sugar factory, recently remodeled, revamped. Luckily they preserved the building, but they gutted the entire interior. And it is a new building inside. On the outside there's the facade. And luckily they also maintain the sign as well. So it is not a fancy name for a condominium or some type of office building. That literally was the Domino sugar factory, one of the larger sugar companies in the United States. Deborah says, first time watching, where are you headed? I'm headed towards East 34th will be my terminus point. Cliff says, I only take the ferry during the summer months. Yeah, I feel you. It's like very cold to take the ferry at this time of year. Let me face the camera over here. Whew. These are great shots, says Cole. It looks like model buildings from this angle. It does, yeah, indeed it does. Wow. Taking the ferry in the summer is amazing because it's nice and warm up here. It's a good way to feel the gentle breeze of the East River. But during the winter time, I think I still recommend it. It's freezing cold up here, but downstairs, nice and warm and toasty. So it's a very good way of getting around. Whew. Yeesh. Hey, Jer, nice to see you here. Deborah, my dad worked at the Domino Sugar Factory back in the day. That is amazing. I'm sure, not every job was amazing, but just the sheer history that man lived through, I think is cool from my New Yorker perspective. Is the ferry busy? MB, yeah, the ferry downstairs, there's barely seats downstairs right now. This ferry is only 2 levels, and the lower level is heated. aside from the back area. And almost every seat is taken except for the middle seats. And I'm not sure. Let me know, do you sit in the middle seat? Unless if I'm very desperate, I would not sit in the middle seat. What are your thoughts? So now we should be arriving at the Williamsburg stop. Yeah. And now we're facing the views of Long Island City. So we got Greenpoint right here. Greenpoint will be growing more and more throughout these next years. Long Island City right down there, more of Long Island City right down there. Long Island City kind of split into two skylines at the moment. Whoa, it's spinning a lot. All right. Hello, Elizabeth says, new subscriber here, Alabama here. Hey, Elizabeth, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate that. You're awesome. Cuckoo says it's romantic. Oh, indeed it is, Cuckoo. Yeah, great way to spend the date. So here is the Williamsburg stop, North Williamsburg, that is. This is the cool area of Williamsburg. Definitely a lot of restaurants, bars, nightclubs, and ice cream shops, pastry shops, coffee shops, ceramic shops. All the shops. Shops of shops. Every shop you ever wanted. Elizabeth says, you're awesome. Hey, Elizabeth, I appreciate that. Inkspire says, I always love a ferry ride. Me too. Hello, LAB says, Southern Pacific, are you a football fan? Only B's referring to football. What's happening in the football world, LAB? Right there is the mysterious moon. On some nights, when New York City is looking for a live streamer, they light up.
Sorry for the delay, folks. There's a disabled vessel pushed up at North Williamsburg right now.
Uh-oh.
So the other downtown bound East River boat is going to be picking up his passengers. And once that working boat is on its way, we can get in there. Should only be a couple more minutes.
Uh-oh. It seems like one boat, unfortunately, is not working anymore. It has recently become disabled, and another boat had to pick up all the passengers from that one. Let's hope the same fate does not happen with this boat, and we don't get stranded in the middle of the East River in this very cold night. I don't know how to swim. I'll just say that right now. So, in the event of any emergency, please alert the authorities and say, this man who's live streaming this entire emergency does not know how to swim. Save the women and children first, yes, of course, but then please save him. Women and children first, of course, but then me. I appreciate that. So right over there, on certain nights when New York City needs live streamers, they put up a huge beam with a massive U calling for the Urbanist. Alright, so the working boat went away, and now we're going to dock at Williamsburg. Inkspire Life says, is this the place where you can get a great Brooklyn blackout cake? You know, it is a very sad day in Brooklyn, unfortunately, Inkspire Life, because one of my favorite bakeries, Ovenly, has closed many of its shops. I'm not sure if the Williamsburg one is still open, but the one in Prospect Heights has closed. All the Manhattan locations have closed. Ovenly was a great bakery that had, in my opinion, the best Brooklyn blackout cake, which is a triple chocolate cake. It has chocolate fudge, chocolate cake, and chocolate pudding inside. And unfortunately, that bakery's almost gone at this point. Alright, will we make it? Let's see. Poor boat, poor ferry has stopped working. The happy hauler, that's the name of the ferry right there, is no longer happy anymore. It's now the sad hauler, and it's barely hauling anymore. Yahya, the transit guy over here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Laureen from Honolulu. Ooh, uh-oh. I heard a crash. I heard a bump. Hello, Ariel. Nice to see you here. There's a bakery that sells Brooklyn blackout cakes in Bushwick, says Susie. Really? Oh, Susie, you must send me the name ASAP. ASAP. I gotta go like tomorrow. Send me that name of that bakery. I'm yearning for a good Brooklyn blackout. It has been years since I've indulged.
Sorry for the delay. North Williamsburg. This stop is North Williamsburg. Next stop will be Greenpoint.
You're not forgiven. This delay was unacceptable. New York City ferry system. Unacceptable. Joe says the ferry caught the flu. It did indeed. Look at basically everyone that was in the ferries exiting at Williamsburg. That's crazy. Is that we started this journey in Dumbo, and that's where I got on. And I think a lot of people who work in Dumbo, the easiest way to get to Williamsburg is still the ferry, because there are no, I think there's one or two direct bus routes, but it's not that reliable taking the bus. And then train is not easy, because you have to go through Manhattan from Dumbo, Brooklyn, through Manhattan all the way back under the East River through the L train to Williamsburg. It is a pain. Laureen says, what is a Brooklyn blackout cake? Brooklyn blackout cake was a cake developed. I think the guy's name was Ebenezer. I forgot his last name. Ebenezer Ebbett? I forgot his name. But back in World War II, there were days that entire New York City was ordered to black out their lights at night in fear of a air raid by the Germans. And there were indeed Germans trying to scout New York City to try to bomb it. So they would black out the city. And this guy had an incredible idea. Let's make a cake in honor of us trying to survive this war. So he decided to, he toiled for a long time trying to stuff pudding into a cake. It's really difficult, because if you use normal pudding, the pudding would just kind of get bad. It'll make the cake soggy. It'll just ruin the cake. So he tried recipe after recipe, because he was determined to put chocolate pudding in chocolate cake and then surround it, stuff it with chocolate fudge. Finally, he came up with the recipe. He made some adjustment to the pudding. He was able to get the right consistency. He was able to adjust the consistency of the cake so the cake would hold the pudding inside and the pudding would keep so it wouldn't go bad. And boom, no pun intended, he ended up making the Brooklyn blackout cake. Chocolate pudding inside, covered in chocolate cake, and smothered in chocolate fudge. Cake on cake on cake. Such a beautiful invention. I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm freezing. I don't want any more wind. So soothing. I feel so relaxed with all this noise. I am so at ease. A nice quiet rumble to meditate. Now we're looking at views of Greenpoint, Brooklyn. This is the home of Ovenly, which is my favorite bakery of Brooklyn Blackout. Lorraine says, thank you for a great story. Hey, Lorraine, my pleasure. My absolute pleasure. Riz says, I feel that you love Philly. You know, I haven't been to Philly. I have been to Philly, actually, but it has been a while. Last time I went to Philly was when the tourism board actually invited me. They were very nice to do so. That was all the way back in 2017. I have some videos of Philly, actually, on my YouTube channel. Search Urbanist Philly, you'll see it. All right, we're talking a lot about Brooklyn Blackout cake, and I know you can't see me right now, but just imagine that I'm on camera and that I look stunningly beautiful and handsome, rugged handsomeness, and I have a chiseled jawline, and that I'm tanned because I've been spending so much time in the Grecian beaches. Just imagine that, even though you can't barely see me. So, vote now. We're about to land. This is Greenpoint. Brooklyn Blackout cake should be still right there. I think they're still there. Should I stop? Should I stop? I don't care if I'm far away from where I have to go. Should I stop for Brooklyn Blackout? I think 7 p.m. is when they close, crossing fingers. I can't make any promises. Worst case scenario, we'll see something else in Greenpoint, but let me know. Vote now, vote now, vote now. They're about to exit. I'm looking through the window. I see people already starting to step out. Should I go? Like you gotta say it right now, because if we don't, then we might miss out on cake. Vote now, forever hold your peace. Vote now, forever hold your slice.
Greenpoint. This is Greenpoint.
All right, say goodbye to the ferry. It was nice being inside that beautiful vessel, seeing the views of New York. But now, cake has called. And we're only a few blocks away. So Susie says, what happened to the beautiful light you used to have on your gimbal? You know, I still have the little gimbal holder. Haven't used it in a while. Susie, good point. Maybe I should take it out again and use it again. But I don't have it on me. And so yes, everyone voted. It was a resounding yes. Piercing my eardrums, people screaming so loud, yes, grab this cake. That we have stopped in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, in order to seek the coveted Brooklyn Blackout cake. Crossing fingers, this place is still open. Maybe while I'm here, I'll just buy a condo. Let me know, which building should I buy my condo? Should be this one. Penthouse only. I would not settle for anything less. This penthouse right over here. This one looks nice. This one's like a little bit more industrial. That one looks rather unstable. Should I buy it there? All right. Can't get distracted. Cake first. I did a tour of that building. No, wait, that building. Check it out. Wow, what is going to be built here? There's a lot of college signs over here. Cole says we're going on a cake hunt, so I'm not scared. Adam says, where are you at? Brooklyn? Yes, I am, Adam. Greenpoint, Brooklyn. Greenpoint is a beautiful neighborhood because it feels like its own small town in the middle of New York City. I really dig it. It's right by a very kind of busy and hip Williamsburg. And then next to very bustling Long Island City, growing very fast. But yet, it's kind of nestled in between. It still feels rather cozy for a neighborhood. I feel like this ferry entrance is different from before. There was a different ferry landing. They changed the ferry landing. So here's what's being constructed. Another huge building, and it's mixed use. It's residential and commercial, most likely offices as well. Okay, I gotta orient myself. Where is Avonlea? So I have not been to this new ferry landing. The ferry landing used to be, I think, that way, if I recall correctly. But there's been so much new construction here that I don't know exactly my way around. But I'm assuming Avonlea is going to be that direction. Williamsburg direction, not Long Island City direction. If anyone can confirm on the map, I appreciate that. How much time do we have? Let's see. We've got until 7. All right. Hassan says, where are the tunnels? Tunnels, if we're probably referring more to the Hasidic tunnels built by a sect in the community in Crown Heights area, so much further down into Brooklyn. Bella says, will we make the cake shop in time before they close? I think we will. I'm optimistic. Otherwise, we'll grab corn dogs. Yeah, this place is known for its corn dogs. Joe says, follow your nose. Indeed. This area feels so new to me. It's on Greenpoint Avenue by Transmitter Park. I wish I knew what direction Greenpoint Avenue was, but I think it is this direction. Cynthia, hey Cynthia, I haven't seen you in a while. Says Cynthia, Cynthia says, I believe it's closed. Yeah, let's see. Isabel says, someone will call ahead, place an order. It's not the place where we'll need to place an order ahead. Luckily. Monique says, wow, no snow. Yeah, the snow melted. Temperatures have risen. All right. I think I'm approaching Greenpoint Avenue. So, a few years ago, back in 2021, wow, it feels such a long time ago, I walked the entire length of Greenpoint Avenue and ended at Ovenly and then took the ferry. Such a marvelous walk. One of my favorite live streams. Photo says you are heading towards Transmitter Park right now. Thank you so much. Photos, yeah. Had a feeling it was going in the right direction. So Greenpoint is great if you want to eat out and not be really stuck in huge crowds, because Manhattan, most of Manhattan, Williamsburg, downtown Brooklyn, a lot of these places get packed nowadays. But Greenpoint, you can find a place and have plenty of seating, just like here at Three's Brewing, nice beer hall. Ooh, it has a Gotham burger as well, so there's burgers here. Gosnt says, what's the name of the shop? Ovenly. Ovenly, one word. Like lovely. Ovenly. Robert says, Ariel's been away from the city so long. Yeah, they really changed up the look of the city. It's been very different from what I remember. Ovenly should be right down here. Christine with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Christine. I appreciate that. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate the $5 super chat. Christine is sponsoring part of this Brooklyn blackout cake or cupcake. The cake at least slices are a bit more expensive. They used to run about $7. They're probably more expensive now. Let's see how they are. Cynthia says, why Google Greenpoint Ferry says it's closed. Yeah, it's a bit confusing because the New York City ferry stop for Greenpoint changed. So the old stop is closed. Let's switch to a new stop, which we got off right now. So sometimes you have to search NYC Ferry. All right, Evan Lee should be right down here. Let's see if we are lucky. All right. Are we gonna be lucky? Are we gonna be lucky? Oven Lee, right over here. Still see lights. All right, crossing fingers, everyone. All right, I'm gonna be a little bit silent as I order. Bear with me. Oh no, we are not lucky. It closes at 6 p.m. That's a shame. Hey, is there any way I could buy a quick Brooklyn blackout? Sorry to frighten you. No? No? You don't have any cupcakes left? Okay, okay. Oh, for tomorrow? Okay. All right, no worries. All right, cool. All right, thank you. Yeah, Google's not up to date, so unfortunately no Brooklyn blackout cake. They're closed for the night. They close at 6. Google has not been up to date. Unfortunately, a lot of cafes, a lot of bakeries, which used to be open pretty late, are now been closing very early. And I think this has happened right after the pandemic. It's a big shame. I really miss it because New York City used to feel like the city that never sleeps, truly. I remember coming to some of these bakeries late night, like at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Some bakeries were even open until 10 p.m. Ovenly, I remember being open until 8 p.m. back in the day. No, that's no longer the case. It's a big shame. It's so sad. But let's walk around a little bit through Greenpoint Ave. Joe says, oh no, I'm calling the owner. Lois says it's the same everywhere. Has that been the case also in other parts of the U.S.? Yeah, I heard it's the case in San Francisco. It was the case in Seattle when I visited. A lot of things were closed pretty early. Inkspire says A for effort. Karina says, I went to New York on June 2021. Everything was closed 7:30 p.m. Even the Mickey D's around the corner. Yeah, it's a big shame. A lot of places have been closed. So there's not that many Brooklyn blackouts anymore. The only other place I find a good Brooklyn blackout so far has been Donut Plant, which there's a Williamsburg location and there is a Lower East Side location. Glennie says, let's go for some apple juice instead. That's a good idea. There's Bowery Lane. There's a beer emporium. Lois says, restaurants that would be open until 9 p.m. now you sometimes close at 3 or 4 p.m. Indeed, yeah, I've noticed that. Here in New York City, maybe not as early as 3 or 4, but something like 7, 8. It's crazy early. One of the local bars or restaurants might serve it. No, it is unfortunate. Ovenly, I think, really struggled selling their baked goods to other businesses. Uh, they don't make their stuff super sweet, so it really doesn't apply to everyone's appetite. And I think that's why Ovenly is struggling, and that's why they're closing early. They closed a lot of their other stores. Is a bit of a shame. Hey, Brett, nice to see you here. Jim says, I just saw an insightful article about how much earlier cafes are closing post-pandemic. Hey, Jim, if you can link that article or send it to me via Instagram, I appreciate that. Gaz says, how far away is Bake Shop? Bake Shop, I don't know off the top of my head. Never tried Bake Shop before. John says they won't be able to keep this up because of the insane rent. Yeah, the rents have, I think, been a contributing factor in the quieting of these neighborhoods. A lot of these neighborhoods, they used to feel more vibrant, I think, 10 years ago. Greenpoint, Williamsburg, downtown Brooklyn, some parts of Brooklyn, some parts of Manhattan as well, and they feel less so because I think the rents have gone so high that the crowds have changed. Usually the people now that go to these places, they're not hanging out late night, They're not going to parties or running art galleries or things like that. So it has changed the vibes. Adam says, is staffing and security other reasons for early closing? Security, not so much. Luckily, New York City hasn't suffered too much rampant crime as, say, California or Oregon. But lack of staff might be an issue, yes. Robert says, hey, welcome back, Ariel. Let me know if you need any help settling in. Hey, Robert, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Let's see if we can find another treat around here. Thank you so much. And Dre says, I know Greenpoint when I see it. Yep, you're right. We're in Greenpoint. Greenpoint, Brooklyn. Let's see if we can find another treat over here. Raphael, welcome. So I'm not going to stop here. This is a restaurant, but I do have a recommendation. If you want best Polish food in all of New York City, try this place. Arczma. There might be a better Polish pronunciation for that, but try Arczma. Really great Polish restaurant. This area, you would, back in the day, find a lot more Polish restaurants. There's only a handful nowadays. This used to be a primarily Polish neighborhood, and there were Puerto Ricans as well. But of course, that's changed in the past few years. BC says, Bake Shop is 2.6 miles away, closes at 9 according to Google. Let's check out this Jungle Cafe. Wonder how they are. Let's see. Okay, so this place is a vegan cafe. It looks pretty good, though vegan treats I'm not always so hyped to try unless if I know what ingredients are in them. Because the reason is I don't like almond flour. It gives me a scratchy throat, and usually vegan treats are made with almond flour, which is a big shame. And then oats as well doesn't always agree with me. But I like some vegan treats, especially if they're made with other types of flour, like corn flour or other ingredients. And also those donuts do not look too appetizing. Where are we? Brett with the £5 super chat. Yeah. Brett, thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. I think I know another location. Let's go down this way. Down, up Manhattan Avenue. Kay says, nothing looking interesting in there. No, it did not, Kay. Ebrin, welcome. Nice to see you here. Oscar says, I heard that Greenpoint was one of the trendiest neighborhoods in New York City. Yeah, that has earned that designation over and over again. 70% off all shoes. Oh, vacuum cleaners. Ooh, look at that. Wow. Who wants a vacuum cleaner? Let me know. Hey, Malachi, nice to see you here. Malachi says, how are you? Haven't been able to catch a live in a while. Always nice to see your little videos. Hey, Malachi, thank you so much for tuning in. I haven't been on the live video in a while myself. So I've been doing other things. I've been working on a coffee mini documentary right now about New York City coffee culture and history. Stay tuned for that. We're working on the Athens documentary series. That also will be coming out later in February. Beautiful church over here. And right across the street, some great old architecture. It's rare to find preserved wooden architecture still in New York City. Most buildings that are old are from brick. Janice says, almost 4 years since your epic visit to Inwood. Yeah, it's crazy how it's been that long. Crazy, Janice. Rebel says, this kind of looks like Europe. Yeah, it has a European flavor to it. This is why I like Greenpoint. It's a nice neighborhood. Very nice neighborhood. Ooh, here's a cool place. So here is Sunshine Laundromat. But if you go in the back, there's a pinball bar. No, I'm not sure they'll be too friendly with the camera. There's a pinball bar. Maybe I'll take a video of it later. Beach Bum. Oh, a lot of people keep asking me this question. How did I catch your documentary? All my documentaries this year are going to be posted on my YouTube channel, Urbanist Exploring Cities. And then Facebook will be posted shortly after. But catch the premieres on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe and you'll be able to see them. Sorry. Hey, Bella says, I really like Petey in your short. Oh, I'm so happy you enjoyed Petey. Yeah, he was a great guy. He'll appear in my coffee documentary briefly. Ooh, I think I found some great treats. Okay, right over here, some treats, ladies and gentlemen. We could get s'mores marshmallow. We get chili mango. We could get a treat called sauce. Oh wait, I don't think these are the right treats to get. Yeah, if I get these treats, it will be a very different live stream, unfortunately. Let me know, should I try these treats at Lazy Daisy? I'm sure there's nothing in them. Just like across the street from Empire Cannabis Clubs. I'm sure there's nothing in these treats. I'm sure they're just nice treats everyone enjoys. Ooh, look at this, a smoke shop. Cafe Riviera. Susie says I would recommend it. Yeah, indeed. All right, I want to try Cafe Riviera. Mm-hmm. All these places, they always have like long lines and no one really attending. And some places are just too damn quiet. Too damn quiet. Let me know if that bothers you. It bothers me. You know, sometimes I want to read and work. And I do appreciate the quiet coffee shops and the quiet cafes. I do. But like a cafe like that, that's not really for working. I really appreciate when people are talking in these places, but sometimes you step into them, it's like a library where no one's doing work, no one's on their laptop, but they're just quiet nonetheless. I mean, why? Let me know. Does that get on your nerves like it does for me? Cole says, if you eat enough of those treats, the one that I referred to before this other cafe we stepped into, then you'll be having a true blackout. Indeed, indeed. Ooh, beautiful bank building right over here. Look at that. Frank says, wow, no tents on the sidewalk like in San Francisco. No, it's rare to find tents in major neighborhoods, residential or business. I think the most you'll find tents is like under bridges or in lesser taken care of parks is where you'll find them. And Susie says, this is where I take the bus home. Oh, that's awesome, Susie. Joe says, I appreciate quiet. There's quiet, but then there's too quiet. I'm not saying that a cafe needs to be loud, but sometimes, you know, you enter a cafe where it's just a lot of people, but no one's talking. That's always, to me, off-putting. Are you using an iPhone to record this live stream? I am indeed, Vlad. Oh, this used to be another amazing Polish spot. It's closed. Now it's a ramen spot called Ramen Spot. I did a live stream here many, many years ago, back in the old times of 2020. I ventured into Greenpoint, and they had outdoor seating right over here. And I remember having a beautiful array of pierogies, breaded pork. How I miss those days. Hey, Inspired Life says, I like that nice coffee, that nice light chatter buzz in the background of cafes. It's great for sketching. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Brenda, hello from Ohio. Ooh, a bus. Who wants to get on the bus? Let me know. Ooh. Are you guys open? Are you guys open? That doesn't look open. Don't tell me a donut shop is closed already. It's not even, it's barely 7 p.m. You gotta be kidding me. Who eats a donut early in the day? Donuts are for eating late. No. Oh no. What is this? Wow. New York has changed. Oh, so sad. So this was the place where they also filmed Spider-Man No Way Home, the third Spider-Man movie of the recent trilogy. This is where MJ works. I was hoping that this place, out of all places, would have been open at this time. Like, I remember coming here late. Sometimes I now walk around New York City and I think to myself, did I just imagine all of this? Did I imagine a late night New York? Because I swear to you, I used to come up to all these places late at night with hanging out with friends, wandering around. And for me, like the best time to have a donut is around this time of day. Like sometimes for breakfast, but I prefer having a donut around this time of day. It's like the perfect thing, you know. You come out of like work or going to a bar with friends, and then you go and have a nice warm cup of coffee or a nice hot tea and a nice doughy donut. And that was like the New York thing to do. So sad. I'm gonna miss New York. Oh, yeah. I'm just, it is very sad. Well, let me know, what do you think? Is there still good to do in New York at night? Tasha says, what year was that? Like pre-pandemic was the last time I really remember still hanging out late at night and seeing a bunch of places open. 2019. Hey, Cheryl says, that has to be your next documentary is the death of late night donuts. Indeed, I think it needs to be. I think at this point. Here's an old school diner. This is cool, I like this. Luckily this is still open. Glennie says, Toronto is the same. Everything's closed nowadays, yeah. Wow, this old school diner has a bar in the back. And look, they have the classic New York City blue coffee cups. Hey, photos from around New York says that coffee place was saved by the owner of Variety Coffee Shops. Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that diner was near closure. That's awesome that it was saved. I'll give it a try next time. Freddie says it just depends on the neighborhood. I don't know, Freddie. You know, I get what you're saying, but I go to. Let me know if you have any recommendations to check out other neighborhoods that you still feel that are vibrant as they were pre-pandemic. Hey, photos from around New York says, at least their coffee improved. That's great to hear. All right, maybe there's an upside to all of this. Maybe there's an upside. After all this journey, might as well have an upside pizza. Hey, Dana says, should have said hi. Hey, Dana. Are you from Greenpoint? Hey, Bella says my mind is still in that Brooklyn blackout. Daryl says ham and pineapple pizza? It does, yeah, indeed. All right, might as well. Hey, how's it going? Good.
Can you pull the cheeseless one? Can you pull the cheeseless one so it doesn't have the dirt?
I'll have a vodka slice, please. Maybe. And no sparkling water.
$3. Want to stay here to go?
Some for here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. All right. So here I got a vodka slice. Right here at Greenpoint. Upside Pizza. The decorations are amazing. Upside Pizza is a chain. They're all around New York City. And there's a speakeasy in this Upside Pizza called Ask for Janice. Janice from Inwood. I had no idea you had a speakeasy. I had no idea you were a enterprising mixologist. That's cool, Janice. Congratulations. Everyone, a round of hearts for Janice from Inwood for opening up her own speakeasy. All we gotta do is ask for Janice and we're in. So the speakeasy didn't seem too full, which is nice. It seems pretty cool. I would check it out at some point, especially during this time of day. That's nice. And Susie says she moonlights. Indeed she does, yes. I got myself a sparkling water. Nice, good sparkling water. It's a bit flat. They left it out in the sun a little bit too long. Let's see how this pizza tastes.
Ben was just talking about it.
Pretty solid pizza. Now, I've had a lot of pizza today. The reason for that is I joined my friend Jennifer O'Brien. If you've been watching Urbanist for a very long time, at least more than 5 years, you might recognize my friend Jen. She's also a YouTuber. She's coming back to the YouTube scene. And we made a hunt for the top 5. Now, if you're a New Yorker, you better sit down for this right now. I would highly recommend it. Sit down. This might be shocking for many New Yorkers out there, or Italians. But we made a hunt for the top 5 best Hawaiian slices in New York City. That means pineapple, ham, or bacon on the pizza. Oh yeah. And I think we found the best one. At least we got to top 2 in this video. It'll be coming out like a week or 2 weeks from now. Stay tuned. I'll be posting a short video, in my opinion, the best one. And you'll find out Jen's opinion of the best one. But stay tuned for the short video. That'll come out soon too, also as well. But I had a lot of pizza today. I had 5 places of pizza. 3 slices, wait, like two, the equivalent of 2 slices at one pizza, half a slice in another pizza, half a slice in the equivalent of 1 slice in another pizza. So we're gonna do math again. Math is always fun on live video. So that's 3 plus 1 plus 0.5. That is 4.5. Plus I had 3 more, and then 3 more after that. 6 plus 4, 10.5 slices of pizza today already. I'm really full. Actually, I had 1 more because I had a fourth one at that last spot. So 11.5 slices. I don't think I'm gonna eat this entire thing, so I'm gonna have a 0.5 of this just to round it up to a nice 12. But I had a lot of pizza today. I usually don't eat this much pizza. And I'm really full. I was hoping for something sweet, but there's no good sweets out here at this time of day. It's insane. Like it's only 7 p.m. Why is there no sweets? Wow. Nice and hot. This vodka slice is spicy vodka. So it's a bit spicy, it has that kick to it. It has a very good spicy kick to it, which I enjoy. And the bread is nice and charred, so good crust. Great sauce. I really like the spiciness of the sauce. The cheese is a bit lacking. It's kind of more that industrial mozzarella cheese. So it's not quite the best cheese. But overall, it's a solid New York City slice. I do recommend it. It's a good slice to grab and then have some cocktails inside the speakeasy. So Jan says how much? I was charged $8 in total. This was about $5.50, and this is about $2.50. So $8 in total. Quite expensive. Mr. Moneymaker says that's not true. Van Leeuwen is right a block away. Really good ice cream. I'm not the biggest fan of ice cream, so I get it. Ice cream, indeed, it is a dessert. So yes, you'll indeed find dessert places open. Whoa. There was a slice of pizza on the road, and the ambulance drove right on top of it. It's so sad. We got a squish slice of pizza. One pizza down. Not sure why the slice of pizza is in the middle of the sidewalk. Hey, Adam says, emergency calls are nonstop. Indeed they are. Rashid would not spend, Trevanisa, nice to see you here. Sharing is caring, especially pizza. Jan says Van Leeuwen is the bomb. Van Leeuwen is indeed the bomb. If I were to eat any ice cream, it would be Van Leeuwen here in New York City. It is my top favorite ice cream in New York City. I love their cashew milk ice cream. But I'm not the biggest fan of ice cream in general. If I'm going to have a dessert, especially after a meal, I'd rather have a cake. Would be my ideal dessert after a meal. Or a donut. I would settle for a donut. But not like a cheap donut from Dunkin' Donuts. That's like nuclear waste. I'd rather have a really good donut. Natalia says, saludos de Argentina, bienvenidos Natalia, gracias por viendo esta emisión. Janice, nice to see you here. Susie says, I don't care for ice cream in the winter. Me neither. Joe says, hopefully it was a Hawaiian slice that was squished. The sound of New York, gotta love it, says Brett. Indeed, Brett, indeed. One does have to love the sound of music here. The cursing, the honking, the sirens, the carbon monoxide. You know, this is what makes New York City really a great city. Is all those factors coming together. Let me know if there's no city more beautiful, more peaceful than New York because of all those factors together. All right, let's walk around for about 10 more minutes. Let's see, in this immediate vicinity, let's see if we find anything else. Might as well on this adventure. All right, let's go. Hey, Mighty Bull, nice to see you here. Welcome. Hey, Susie says, is the toy store open? Ooh, what store are you referring to, Susie? We passed the A toy store. It was closed at this time. Nikki says, what high school did you go to? Nikki, I appeared many times talking about the high school I've been to. St. Francis Prep. So I'm a bit too full at this moment in time, but my top pasta recommendation in the city, actually, this far beats almost every restaurant I've tried. And this is a quick eating spot. It's called Forma Pasta Factory, right here on Greenpoint, on the border of Williamsburg. Highly, highly recommend this place. It's mind-blowing pasta and for cheap.
Yeah, I want to.
For brunch, this is an amazing place. This is Five Leaves. I gotta do like a live video here one of these days for brunch. But this is the best brunch place. I would put in my top 5 brunch places in New York City. They have the best pancakes in New York City, in my opinion. Made with banana, honeycomb butter. Ah, so delicious. And a bunch of berries. And this place, Five Leaves, was owned by Heath Ledger. Apparently his family took over, but I'm not entirely sure if the Ledger family owns this anymore. And Desi says, looks like a great place to eat. Yes. Freddie says, shout out to Blue Bay Diner. You know, Freddie, all my years of going to that high school, I did not go to Blue Bay Diner, not even once. Gogij's, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but says there's a park. Yeah, this is McCarren Park right over here. It's very big. At this time of night, it's going to be pretty empty. During the summer, McCarren Park is awesome. Lots of people here hanging out, partying, having fun, playing kickball. They're doing a lot of things. It's always a blast coming here. Matrix says, are MJ and AK around? Maybe some trio again. And MJ, Mary Jane. Well, a shame Mary Jane is traveling right now, as far as I know. Action Kid is also abroad. He apparently is in Taiwan. So, no, unfortunately, we can't do a triple live stream. But maybe when they're back. Bill Scott says, video quality is great. Did you get a new iPhone? No, I did not get a new iPhone, but I'm glad the video quality is great. I think the app Prism Live Studio, which is the main app I use, has improved significantly. So here's a taco stand. Green says, Karen Park? No, McCarren. McCarren is, like an Irish last name, I think, or Scottish maybe. It's a Scottish last name. But it's a really cool bar. I mean, a really cool park. Here's Spritzen House. And here's a nice beer garden. It's pretty empty. That is nice. Oh, wow. Wow. Why is this so empty? Almost no one's at Spritzen House. Crazy. All right. Who wants to have a pint? Let me know. I'll go to Spritzen House, order a quick pint. It's empty. Usually these bars are so packed at night. So it's hard to kind of have a quiet drink. But aside from the loud music, it seems to be pretty chill. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. Hey, how's it going? I do, yeah. I'm making a
this?
video. This is a microphone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not being filmed. Then.
No, you're not being filmed. Yeah, it's all right. I'll turn off the microphone. All right. Very dark place, yeah, indeed. It's dark. All right. At least I have light over here, though I'm facing the wall. All right. So welcome everyone. Spritzen House. Classic bar here. It's been around for a while. And the guy was did not like the camera, so I had to turn off the mic for a little bit. Luckily, it does not happen too often here in New York City. Is that an American-sized pint? Yes. Well, I'll show you the pint in a bit. Right here. So right here, American-sized pint. And this is a German beer, Veltins beer. They have Hofbrauer, which I enjoy going to Hofbrauer House in Germany, but it was I did not like too much Hofbrauer House and other German beers. I'm not too optimistic about this one. It wasn't due to the taste. It was due to it. I think I'm allergic to the histamines, so I get way more red from German beers than I do from other beers like Greek beers or English beers. American beers also make me really red as well. So let's see how this fares. It's a good beer, crisp, Has a, no, it's not my favorite. Not the best beer. Desi says, was he a customer? No, it was the bartender. He was, did not want to be filmed. This is a Pilsner, yeah. It's light, it's like 4.8, so it's not too strong. I just, this is not a good beer. Don't like it too much. Not the best. It has that kind of a bitter aftertaste. Not hoppy. It's hard to describe that bitter aftertaste. This is very common in American beers, and that's why I don't like beers too much in America. It doesn't have that crisp freshness taste. And this appears to be a German beer, Valentis. Beer on top of a lot of food will make you feel uncomfortable, indeed, yeah. This is liquid bread, so it's a lot of calories. Hey, Matrix, I'm so sorry to hear about your issues. Hope it gets better. Everyone's in Matrix who tunes in often to these shows. A round of hearts. Hopefully you feel better, Matrix. Sucks to hear about that situation you're going through. But hang in there. Stay positive. And remember, even though this might be hard to hear at the moment, there's definitely a lot of things in life to be grateful for. And sometimes they're imported, and it takes a while for them to get over here, like a Guinness. Guinness is still produced in Ireland, and it takes like a month to get here. It's not always the best Guinness. Hey, this place, Dark Tracks Shadow, needs different spirit. Indeed, yeah. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of bars. I'm not the biggest fan of bar culture in America. A lot of places tend to be super dark, and lighting sometimes is a bit harsh. Here's a bit soft, but I still don't like it. It's a bit too industrial for me, so it's not my favorite. I prefer more more warmer places, not too much exposed brick. It's supposed to be nice, but sometimes these places are too cold, in my opinion. Like the aesthetics are cold, not necessarily the temperature. This is why I love the pubs of England, Scotland, and Ireland. I love the French brasseries and cafes. I love Greek cafes as well, where people go out drinking. I love more that atmosphere than the typical American bar. I did enjoy the Bavarian beer garden as well. It was a nice vibe in those beer gardens. But the American bar is not quite my favorite place to hang out, usually. And Desi, nice to see you here. Welcome. Who would put pineapple on pizza? Yuck. Well, Desi, that's that's exactly what I did. You're gonna see an entire video of pineapple on pizza. I used to drink beer, then I realized it was an acquired taste. When I was a boy, I started drinking beer just to show my friends I was brave and adult enough. Oh, Raphael, that's very early to drink beer. I realized many tastes in my life were acquired, changed everything. Oh yeah, industrial is new in everything, says Kat. Yeah, industrial is the main aesthetic of choice nowadays for a lot of places that are owned by younger owners or hipper, younger neighborhoods tend to go industrial, but it's very common in America. You see it in Europe, but you see in Europe where it's these neighborhoods that try to be like Brooklyn, try to be like hip American places, and they emulate the industrial style, which I don't agree with. I kind of like this old European style. And America has that. We used to have that. It's not really prevalent anymore. The dive bar, in my opinion, is not so interesting, though. Like culturally, a dive bar, if people don't know, it's kind of more. It's a bar that's dingy and kind of it's dirty and kind of grungy on purpose. And that is kind of quite of a classic American aesthetic as well. I'm not a fan of those either. The beer tends to be pretty bad. They tend to not have good cocktails at all. And they tend to be very loud, and they tend to play very loud rock music or other types of like popular music that I'm not really a fan of, or country music. So I'm not a fan of dive bars either, though I do recognize that they're kind of an American staple, just like this very typical industrial beer garden that you see also all around America. I'm not a fan of these places. If we were to go back to old America, I would be a fan of like reverting back to the style of like Francis Tavern, or the Boston pubs, which in Boston was awesome to visit them. I think I visited 2 or 3 of them on live video when I went to Boston. That style is really cool. What's another good example? I had something on the top of my mind. What's another great example of American aesthetic? The Speakeasy, the cocktail bar. I really like it as well. Cocktail bars also have a cool aesthetic. They tend to be expensive. That's the downside. And especially in Manhattan, you can't really linger at a cocktail bar too long, generally, because they want to turn tables. I do enjoy them, but it's a shame that they tend to be too expensive. So if we were to really appreciate American style in an old school way, I would love to go back to that old tavern style of bar. I think they would be amazing to revert back to, or this kind of classy cocktail bar aesthetic that was prevalent in New York City, like in the 1930s or 40s. Christmas says, can you go to the subway? If I were to go to the subway right now, service would be cut. There would be no cell phone reception, unfortunately. Okay, everyone, I'll stick around for 10 more minutes. Feel free to ask me anything. And Christmas, and anyone, no spamming, please. Desi says cocktail bars are more comfortable, but not too expensive. But too expensive. Yes, they're too expensive. Cocktails now in New York City range anywhere from lowest you can really go in a cocktail bar, and this would be not so much in Manhattan below 96th Street or any of the big Brooklyn neighborhoods. The lowest you can really go is like 14. But generally now they're averaging about $20, $22 is the average cocktail in most New York City cocktail bars. They're getting pretty expensive. Are there non-alcoholic third places that you enjoy? Jim Barrows, man, that is an excellent question. That is an amazing question. I will be covering this on my coffee documentary, actually. I'm super excited. I am going to interview a doctorate in urbanism. It's an amazing woman. You'll learn more about her. I won't tell you about her yet, her name. Well, you'll find out about her. She has a doctorate in urbanism, and she's right now working on this like epic thesis about how suburbia has its downfalls and how it can be improved. And it's very fascinating, but she talks a lot about third places. And in the coffee documentary, I will be interviewing her to get urbanist perspective of why coffee shops are actually excellent third places and why now the newer style coffee shops are cropping up in many parts of America are actually sucky as a third place. So people don't know, third place, there's three places we mostly live as humans. First place is home. That's our first place. It's where we live. Second place is work, where we work, offices. If you're like a YouTuber, a content creator like me, it's either my home where I'm doing my editing, or sometimes at the cafe where I usually do a lot of editing and emailing, or out and about in the streets. Or if you're like a filmmaker, it's on sets. Or if you're a gardener, it's in the gardens. Or if you're a garbage man, it's on the streets with your garbage truck. That's your second place. Second place is where you work. The third place is where you hang out. The third place is very important in the fabric of society, in essence. We've always had a third place in some regard since the dawn of humanity. Usually our three places used to be more combined for the majority of human history. Before the dawn of cities, say 10,000 years ago, 9,000 years ago, first cities started cropping up. But before 9,000 years ago, your first place, your second place, and your third place were generally all in the same place. They were like in the village. And your first place would be your tent, your teepee, your rock house, your stone house. And then your second place would be out in the fields, hunting or gathering. And then your third place would be around the bonfire in the middle of the village. That generally would be how it would be for most of human history. But since we've had cities, they've all become rather delineated. So we live in some place, we work somewhere else, and we hang out some other place. And in most major cities, our third places tend to be cafes, bars, places to drink, parks. In many countries, it's like front porches or houses where people usually gather. And then in American society, it tends to be the mall, or it used to be the mall. That's where we had our third place. The thing is, in most of the US, the third place has disappeared because of suburbanization. So suburbs expanded and there was not too many third places anymore. The only third place that people had was the mall, which was, if you grew up in the 90s like I did, or even earlier 80s and 70s, you probably remember a time where most people, if you grew up in suburban America, would go to the mall and hang out. Massachusetts says go to a train station. No train stations tonight for anyone tuning in, but watch my old videos about trains. The stoop, says Susie. Stoop is also, the front porch or the stoop would be a third place for many New Yorkers. Puerto Rico, I know it's the front porch. the South as well. But for suburban America, it was the mall. But malls have been disappearing, or the Walmart parking lot, and that has been disappearing as well. So most Americans don't really have too many third places. And then Starbucks came around in the 1990s, and Starbucks became a third place. The Starbucks used to be comfy, used to be big, used to be plenty of seating. Starbucks was generally cool with you lingering for a long time. And this applied to other coffee chains. If you were in the UK, it would be a Costa Coffee or Cafe Nero. It depends on the country you were in. I'm sure Canada had its own places. Puerto Rico had similar places. So the Starbucks became the third place for most Americans as the third place. But due to the immense corporatization of Starbucks, especially in the past 20 years, Starbucks has lessened seating. You go to most Starbucks in New York City, and this applies to many parts of the US and parts of Europe, they barely have seating anymore. Where there used to be 50 seats, now there's 10. Where there used to be comfy seating, now it's a stool. Where there used to be low seating or couches or armchairs, now it's a high stool on like a bar setup. Where there used to be nice calming music by singer-songwriters or jazz, now it's loud popular music. Where the temperature was just right, 72 degrees, so you can be comfy for hours. Now it's either too hot or too cold. So Starbucks no longer is a third place for most Americans or Canadians or Western Europeans. Same thing with Costa Coffees, Pret a Managers, all these other businesses, or back in the day McDonald's was a third place for many people. It's no longer the case. And the mall is no longer a third place for many people. So we're increasingly left without third places. And now in New York City, you don't have a Starbucks, unfortunately. They're no longer viable third places for the most part. Some of them still are, but not all of them. And the coffee shops that used to be comfy no longer exist. Here in Williamsburg, there used to be at least 3-4 more bigger coffee shops that were more comfy. I think there's only 2 of them that really survive. And as I mentioned earlier, they closed early. I remember there was this coffee shop, I forgot the name, Black Brick, I think was the name. That coffee shop closed at like 9 p.m., I remember hanging out there back in like 2015, 2014 at this cafe, Black Brick in Williamsburg at 9 p.m. Till 9 p.m. They had this big comfy couch, they had plenty of seating, they had nice calm music. People were working, people were chatting, people were playing games. It was a nice vibe. Now this coffee shop, if I recall correctly, closes at like 5. And I don't think they have their couch anymore. I'm not entirely sure. I just haven't been. And that's the same thing with cafes all around New York City. They become minimalistic, just like the Starbucks, from low chairs and armchairs to high stools, uncomfortable. Some of them are not even turning on their heating during the winter. So it's just freezing cold in this cafe, so no one wants to sit in there. And it's a big shame. It's a massive shame. And I think in the coffee documentary, I kind of want to get at that a little bit, so stay tuned. And I'm very passionate about this because I've seen the change. I've seen what a good third place has to offer. When I've been to Paris, and I've been to Greece and Italy. In France, Greece, and Italy, they're countries with excellent third places. And I remember the Netherlands was the same thing. You had these bars, people or cafes, you just hang out for a long time, and you didn't have to spend massive amounts of money to just linger. You weren't rushed out. No one threw the check on the table. Music was at a reasonable level. And I remember me even a few months ago going to Greece. I found it way easier to make acquaintances by just going to the same cafe over and over again. And I remember hanging out, like I started making friendships at a much faster rate than I even do here in New York City where I live. Because I could just go to the same cafe or any cafe with a group of friends, sit down and enjoy each other. I think so. Gotta clean my lens. So I would go to the same cafe over and over again, and people would be there enjoying each other's company. And the same case was in Paris, in many parts of France. You just linger for a long time, and you don't need to pay obscene amounts of money to sit down in a place. And the same thing with Italy. And I wish America would have that because, we have some amazing cities. We have New York, we have Miami, we have Boston. Seattle could be a great city if it had more third places. Many parts of the U.S. could benefit of having really strong downtowns where people could walk and hang out for the night. And it doesn't always have to be around drinking. This is the downside also with the way of American thinking is we think that the place to hang out always has to have alcohol. This is the downside with many parts of Europe as well. We don't need alcohol. Alcohol does help. Alcohol has been a big blessing, I think, for societies across the world. Alcohol could be a big problem for many people. And that's a sad reality. But alcohol also has the ability to connect people. And it has been pretty powerful. But it doesn't have to be around alcohol. It could be around coffee. It could be around tea. It doesn't even have to be around those things. The thing is with America is that we kind of separate these. So you go one place for your alcohol and another place for your food and then another place for your coffee. And I like that. I like that places are specialized, but I love like the British pub where in the British pub you could go during the day and if you wanted a pint, you could have a pint. Awesome. Or you can sit down and have a bite of food. It doesn't have to be an entire plate because they don't care if you order just mushy peas or you order a huge Sunday roast. They don't care what the difference is. You can order whatever you want. And that's nice. I think it's nice, or you can have a coffee or tea at these pubs. It's nice, and it's something that is not really common in America. It's a big shame, because most parts of the U.S. is a bit too cold to have a lot outdoor third places. So we're not as lucky as Greece or parts of Italy. But if we were to embrace more pub culture here in America, I think it would make a big difference. So there we go. That's my thoughts on third places. That was way more than 10 minutes. Do you think home is more comfortable than some bar or cafe, says Susie? No, I think the other issue here, and don't misconstrue this conversation for complaining. Sometimes when someone might hear this type of conversation, they think I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. There's so many things to be grateful for. I'm glad this is warm. I'm glad there's plenty of lighting here. I'm glad that it's relaxed. I'm glad that I'm safe. No one's gonna harass me here, luckily. I'm glad that I can afford a pint like this. I'm glad that it comes in the glass. I'm glad that the beer's fairly fresh. I'm glad that the beer's clean. There's so many things to be grateful for. But I think the beauty of conversation is that sometimes it can be critical. And I think it's nice to be critical because you get to kind of get to the real positive essence of things and be grateful for the things that really kind of make a big difference in life. And And I think a lot of people here in America that consider themselves introverted or shy or lonely, which is even worse of a feeling, is partly due to the lack of a third place. Because I am not necessarily the most extroverted person, but if I can go to a quiet cafe and just sit down and have the option to just read or just do some work or just sit down and people watch, I feel it way easier to make connections in that environment as opposed to right now as a dude on my own tonight, going to some bar loud on my own. It's way more intimidating. And it's due to the nature of American third places that I think people who are more on the introverted side do not go, and hence it pushes introverted people to be more introverted at home, separated from social connections. And I think that's a big shame, because even in cafes here, cafes is kind of a interesting issue where you go to a lot of cafes and, as I mentioned earlier before, it's quiet. No one's talking. Everyone's on their computer. So if you go with a friend and try to chat in these cafes, it's awkward as hell. So you have this kind of disparity. You have the very loud bars where it's really friendly only to extroverted individuals. Or you have cafes which are just extremely quiet. You can barely hear a pin drop. Everyone's working. And during the day, it's hard to just hang out with a friend and have a casual conversation over coffee. And I think that's the disparity. I don't know why we kind of have to separate these two so much. This is why I like the pub or the Greek cafe. You have the best of both worlds. You have people chatting, but it's quiet enough that you can read still, or be on your own. They're vibrant with people hanging out and chatting and even partying, but you can still sit at a table and chill out on your own, and it's okay. I think that's the beauty of many of these European third places. Ariel, can you go back to Europe? I really like when you travel to different places and find it interesting. Ethan, I'm glad you say that. You know, I sometimes get the opposite comment. When I go to Europe, I get a comment a lot saying, hey, Europe is boring, man. I don't want to see more Greece. I don't want to see more Italy. I don't want to see more France or Germany or whatnot, whatever country. Can you just go do more New York videos? So I'm glad you enjoy my Europe videos, because I do love Europe. Brett says I should open up my own coffee chain. Maybe I should. Paul says I never met a sober Yank when I'm there. Yeah, Americans do like to drink quite a lot, and we're not too open about it, like some European countries where people are a little bit more transparent. Because here people drink alone. America, I think, is way more common to drink alone. I have a lot of friends who have like a cup of wine late at night in their home. No judgments. But you can tell some people do. It's not done for the most positive reasons. Esther says, back in New York, I'm a native. Sitting at the bar can help you meet people. Yes, Glennie. So this kind of applies to anywhere around the world. If you want to increase your chances of meeting people, sitting at the bar does help quite a lot. Kat says, libraries seem to be a more sociable place at this point. I haven't been to a library in quite a while, so I don't know too much about them. Some of them do tend to be really quiet, though. Sue says the Urbanist Cafe will be open 24/7. I mean, we would have to close at some point, but I would be open late, yes. I read that there's also an epidemic of loneliness and isolation nowadays, as people now rely on social media. Yes, it's because we don't have third places, so in a way we replaced our third place for social media. Social media is third place nowadays for most Americans, and it's not, and for a lot of people around the world, I know these issues are also in Japan. I've heard that these issues are in China. Parts of South America, like Brazil, heavy into social media. So a lot of places around the world have adopted social media as their third place, and it's not a good third place because social media is not as good as a in-person interaction. Ironically, as I do social media here, but nothing beats an in-person interaction. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this broadcast. Let me know if you want to see more broadcasts. Joe says, I love the Greece and Europe live streams. Everyone does NYC. Everyone does indeed do NYC. I'm one of the few people who live stream a lot in Europe. Raphael says, being an introvert is not easy. It's never been. People tend to think we are weird or dangerous. In my early 20s, I used to socialize through going to pubs and getting drunk. Yeah, Raphael. I feel you. I hope you find a way. For anyone who might be very introverted, I recommend, if you have the budget for it, go to Paris. Stay there for a week or two. Don't put any pressure on yourself to meet anyone. Just spend time on your own in a city like Paris. And I think you might have a change of heart. If you're not able to do that, then go to your nearest cafe in your nearest town. And go to the cafe where some people are talking, some people are working. And I think at least you'll be in the presence of others without feeling the pressure of needing to socialize. And I think that will make a big difference. So find yourself the cafe where it's lively, where you can still sit on your own and read. And that's my biggest pro tip. I would recommend doing that. If you're feeling shy or feeling introverted, do that. It will work wonders. Put zero pressure on meeting anyone. Just sit, just read in a lively cafe. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. This has been Urbanist here on YouTube and Facebook. Stay tuned. On YouTube will be my documentary series for Athens, posted on February 29th. The coffee documentary will be coming out sometime in the near future. Stay tuned as well. And then also plenty of other videos to come in the future. Also live videos to come as well. Everyone keep being awesome. Excuse me. Too much pizza, too much beer. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. Dab says, hit the bathroom while you're going away. Indeed, baby, I'll go to the bathroom. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.